So everybody listening on the call, don't do yourself the disservice of asking questions blindly, right? Ask questions in the sense where it flows and it feels right. I hope that makes sense. You can think right out. She picked a rather difficult security control, right? For me to give you guys an example of. But we had a very easy one earlier, so I'm glad that she picked one that's more difficult than the others, right? But but you got to take it. You got to make sense of it, and then you have a conversation and you say, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? Right? And your brain might think differently from mine, right? And Jason, I don't know if your questions would have led you to the right path, but if it leads you to the right path, it's correct, right? There's multiple ways you can break this down,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I can tell you one thing in our change request, and to answer my own question, right? In our organization, if you're going to develop something new, it needs to go through the change process. And then once it's going through the change process, right? When you submit the change, right, you're required to address the security controls, right, that are being applied to that, to whatever component that is, right? It's very important that you do that. If, and I'm giving you the answer here, Jason, if the information system or component that's being developed is a major one, the entire system needs to undergo system A&A, which is RMF step 1 through 6, right? We need to run it through. Like if it's a major feature enhancement, if it's just something small, then it can basically go through the change request, make sure a security person, make sure all the security controls, pertinent security controls, are documented within the change request. Does that make sense to you, Jason?